where we may be we may be working. I have no that was in my meditation. I was working, but I was working from like Greece with my family, my kids running around, and they're just walking up to me, and I'm pretty much just checking things.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's work, but again, my backdrop is Greece.
Mm-hmm.
So is it really work? Like, like how do we get that? And then, also teaching my kids how to do it. So how do we get there? That was one of my biggest things. Like that's kind of where I left in that mindset of, okay, like excitement of, all right, now, we got to plan things. How do we do this?
Right. Yes, that was the point of the meditation. Thank you so much for that, for sharing that. Yes, that was the point. The what's happening is, we all know what to do. We talked about this yesterday, right? We all know we're supposed to spend less and save more. We all know we want to go from consumer to investor, I'm sorry, from consumer to saver, because you cannot invest if you don't have any money, right? And so I wanted to, make that clear for everyone here. I know yesterday I briefly mentioned that if you're someone who's having trouble, maintaining your rent or maintaining your bills, like, come talk to me, let's get you out of it, right? But ideally, that's not what I do. I invited you all, right, to call me if you are in that situation, but that's not what I do. I help you manage money. And in order for you to manage money, you have to have money in the first place, right? Okay. So just wanted to make a note of that. But what was the whole point of that? I got off on a whole tangent. Let's get back to you, Amber, and your backdrop and your Greece and am I working? How do I get there? Let's go back to that, right? And so what happens is we know what to do. You know how to get there, right? You're asking yourself, how do I get there? Because there's the fears. Because step one, I need to do this. Step two, I need to do this. Step three, I need to do that. But your fears that are coming up, probably saying, and let me know if this is resonating. Well, that's gonna take too long. That's not realistic. Why do you need to be in Greece? Why can't you just be here? Like all these fears. What if it doesn't work? What if I fail? What if it's not what if it just doesn't fit, or whatever the case is? All that negative self-talk is what's clouding everything and not allowing you to see clearly on how do I end up in Greece checking on things and not working 24/7. Is any of this resonating, Amber?
Yes, it is. Like that's the goal. That's the end goal.
Right, right. And so
That
I
is
say,
the end goal.
mhm.
Almost like you were saying, digital nomad. Like, so I have the whole family digital nomads, and we're just checking on our businesses as they're automated and doing what they need to do.
Right, exactly, exactly. And I was a digital nomad for about 10 months, okay? And how did I become a digital nomad? By looking at step one. Here's the problem. Here's the problem. Sometimes we're so caught up in what is step 77? What is step 120? What is step 35? What is step 12? And we're not concerned about step one. And I want to invite you all that are here today, right? I want to invite you to think about, from our meditation yesterday, what is step one? Because once you know what step one is, you will no longer feel overwhelmed, because it'll most likely be something super easy, something super reachable, okay? And then once you do step one, you create that momentum, and now step two magically appears. Step three magically appears, because you're going step by step by step. The problem is we're worried about step 75 when we haven't even done step one. Type in a 5 in the chat if you're with me. Type in a 0 if I lost you. Okay? All right? I'm going to repeat that. The reason why most of us are cloudy, most of us are like, oh, I don't know how to get started, or how do I make this happen, or when is this ever going to happen, is because we're so worried about the end goal. We're so worried about the end right there. We haven't even looked at the beginning. What does the beginning look like? What does step one look like? And so I'd like for everyone in here that is live, okay, I go ahead and take a few seconds. I'll give you about 60 seconds and write down, based on your meditation from yesterday, what is step one to making this a reality. No, I'm not talking about how do I fly from the United States to Greece and move there. No, that's not step one. There's a lot of steps. There's packing, there's booking flights, there's planning, there's all sorts of things that happen before that, right? And so we want to know, what is step one? Because the minute you do step one, you are teaching your subconscious that it is safe to take this journey. And you're also giving yourself those small wins. When you achieve step one, when you're able to finish step one, don't you feel good about yourself? Talk to me in the chat. Right? When you've got a big task ahead of you, when you have something big in front of you, right? Doesn't it feel good to get those small things out of the way? Doesn't that feel good? Right? Okay. And so that, I didn't hear anybody in the chat. Maybe you're busy writing. Okay. Okay. There we go, in the chat. Okay. And so I'd like for you to take 60 seconds and write down, what is step one? Okay. Amber says sometimes taking step one is all the motivation you need. That's it. That's it. If step one is writing down the steps, that's step one. If step one is going on a window shopping spree and looking at, okay, how much would an Airbnb cost? That's how I started, right? I said to myself, I would love to live in a different country every single month. All right. And that was just a thought. And then I was scared. I was like, well, what if I don't have good Wi-Fi? What if, I'm going to be alone? I'm going to be solo traveling. Yeah. Is that safe? I had all these little, limiting beliefs, right? These little fears, just like, you can't do that. You need to stay here. What if you got to go to a networking event? What if you got to go speak somewhere? What if you... And then I said, you know what? I'm just going to go on Airbnb and I'm going to see how much does it cost to rent an entire place for a whole month in Peru. That's how I started. And I looked and I saw that it was going to cost me roughly anywhere from $800 to $1,000. And then I said to myself, wait a minute, I spent way more on that on my living expenses here. This was back in 2022. Okay. I was living with a roommate back then, okay? And so I was like, I spend more on that on rent. And so I said to myself, I'm actually gonna save money if I go to Peru. And then now the fear started to shift, right? And so I started to build a savings to be able to sustain myself in abroad if I were to run into any emergencies, because that was another fear of mine. Right? I would be all alone. And so I kept going. I'm not going to make this all about my digital nomad experience, right? But I'm just giving you a real life example of what I went through and what I had to overcome in order to make my dream of traveling the world while I work a reality. And so the reason why I tell you my story is to help you see that it is possible for you as well. Type in a 5 in the chat if you're with me. Type in a 5 in the chat if you're with me, okay? That 12:15 email is going to go out soon, okay? So I should have another influx of people coming in. All right, let's see what the chat says, okay? Researching, identifying the means, right? Lisa says, still not sure what my step one is. That's okay, you're overcomplicating it. If you don't know what your step one is, you're looking too far ahead. Reel it back. Reel it back. What is step one? You're going to find it. If you are going to allow step one to be the hump, the obstacle that keeps you from ever getting it done, then at that point, right? At that point, you have to ask yourself, is this something that you truly want? Or is this something that would be nice to have? Because sometimes we write things down because we feel like, oh, that's what we should want. Right? I should want to travel. I should want to do this. I should want to do that. But is that what you truly want? Right? If you're still not clear about what step one is, you're still on step 77. We need to reel it back, okay? All right, beautiful, beautiful. Intrusive thoughts. Yes, absolutely. Okay, I got a couple of 5s. Okay, beautiful. So let's get started. It's 12:15. All right. So let's review a little bit. Day one, we talked a lot about your mindset and why mindset is important. And I usually leave that towards the end, but I feel like it's good to start on that note because the mindset, the thought is where everything begins, right? So we had that meditation. We did that meditation and we planted that seed. Now that that seed is planted, now it's time to come into the physical world, into the 3D world, and take action. Okay, I'm going to tell you something real quick. The internet lied to you. Okay, and you know what they lied to you about? They told you that all you have to do is think positive thoughts and your life's gonna change. Just think real hard. Just think, have positive thoughts and everything's gonna be okay. That's a lie. It's a bold-faced lie. Why? Because it doesn't stop with your thought. The thought is planting the seed. The thought leads to a feeling. Talk to me in the chat. Type in a 7 in the chat if when you did that meditation yesterday, you felt something. You felt peace, you felt joy, you felt excitement, you felt something. Type in a 7 in the chat if you felt something, right? And so that feeling inspires you to take action. I'm going to repeat that. That feeling inspires you to take action. And it is the action that changes your life. No, you're not going to go from webinar to webinar to webinar, from this to that, and somehow magically build wealth. That is not how it works. You can watch all my lives, listen to all my podcast episodes, other people's podcast episodes. You could listen to, read all the books in the world. That's not going to help anything. That's not going to do anything. As a matter of fact, a lot of you here have already done a lot of that. You've already read books on top of books, listen to podcast after podcast, join challenges after challenges, right? Watch free webinars after free webinars, and the needle still hasn't moved. Everything is still the same. Or maybe it moves a little bit and it comes right back. Moves a little bit and it comes right back. Why? Because it is not the thought that creates your world. It is your action that creates your world. Right. And I don't want to bring religion into this or anything, but spirituality is a big part of your wealth building journey. So no matter what spiritual system you identify with, no matter what spiritual system resonates with you, right? If you look at any ancient scripture, it always talks about God helping those who help themselves. Yes or no? Whether you're Christian or whatever denomination you identify with. There's some sort of scripture that says God helps those who help themselves. And so if we're stuck here in the thoughts and we're not doing anything, we're not taking action, nothing's ever going to change. And I hate to break it to you, but I actually love to break it to you, okay? I hate to be the bad guy, but I also love to be the voice of reason for you, to snap you into reality, knowing that thinking is not enough. Thinking is the seed. Just like if you have, like I have this money tree here, my podcast mic is blocking it, but I have this money tree here. This money tree started with a seed, right? But the seed was not it. That's not it. You have to water the seed, yes or no? Type in a 9 if you're with me. You have to have good nutrients. If I just have the seed and there's no soil, there's no nutrients, there's no water, will I ever get a plant? Absolutely not. It's just going to be a seed. You can go on Walmart or any place and you could go buy a bag of seeds. If they stay inside that bag, are they ever going to become a tree? Absolutely not. It's the same thing with your thoughts. You must water your thoughts. The water is the emotions. Water is the emotions, the nutrients, the emotions that inspire action. The action is tending to the tree. I have the tree in the window, getting sunlight every day. I water it. Every time I see that the soil is dry, I water it, right? And so that's how we have to be with our thoughts, okay? I went on a whole tangent here, but I was trying to buy myself some time for everybody else to hop on. But yes, okay, let's keep going. All right, so so we reviewed a little bit from yesterday. I basically just put that in a nutshell, okay? So I wanted to share this testimonial with you from one of my clients. There are many different ways to work with me, okay? And that's why I always, at the end of these, I always present apply to work with me, because there is no one size fits all in finance. But this particular student of mine, she actually lives in Haiti, okay? She actually lives in Haiti, and she actually applied to work with me. She was part of my trading program. So I have different programs, right? The stock market trading program, where she was able to learn how to print money in the stock market now, not just 20, 30 years from now, right? To be able to sustain her living. And I'm happy to say that last year in October, she was able to quit her job and be a full-time trader. So she is now a full-time trader, and she is actively building wealth. And this is what she had to say about working with me.
Good morning. I've been working with Tatiana for 5 months now, and she uses a very well-designed program that has two parts. One part is, good morning. I've been working with Tatiana for 5 months now, and she uses a very well-designed program that has two parts. One part is she gives you the techniques to build a long-term portfolio and to make the short-term trades. And the second part is she works on your mindset. And for me, the mindset part is even more important because I had blockages with regards to money, and now I have a different relationship with money. I highly recommend Tatiana's programs because she wants every single of her clients to succeed.
How is the sound on that? Were you all, I forgot to ask, were you all able to hear that? Type in a 1 if you were able to hear that. Type in a 0 if you couldn't hear it. I forgot to ask about the sound because the sound has been crazy. Was anybody able to hear that? Okay, Carmel was able to. Carmel, are you able to speak? Okay, a lot of you were, okay, good. Carmel, are you able to speak?
Yes, now it's working. Yesterday I couldn't unmute myself.
Okay. Can you tell us, you've been working with me for quite some time. Can you tell us what it's been like to work with me? And you've been in a couple of my programs, so go ahead, take it away.
So yes, I've been working for you for over a year now, I believe. Like you say, you're not for everyone. For me, you are it. So like we click well, our personalities and the long-term goal, the long-term vision of mine aligns with what you're teaching. I have to say, you do keep me in check many times because I'm a procrastinator. I admit it, mea culpa. But at the same time, it's like the accountability part. It's like pulling my ear, like it's something that I know, but sometimes I need to hear it, and I love it. So and also I feel. I think the part I love the most is the non-judgmental part. Well, I feel safe enough, like I can talk about private matters that I would probably not feel comfortable to talk with friends and family because I don't want people in my business. But that I know it's like that client and professional confidentiality that I feel safe enough to be about it. So I love it.
Yes. Can you talk to us about some of the results? You don't have to tell us how much money you made, but talk to us about some of the results you've had in my programs.
So in the little bit of the trading that I did remember, because I had to stop because of other circumstances, but I was able, with the little knowledge that I got from you, I was able to choose like my portfolio, and I had some of them that had over 30% return. That was a great year for me, and some were 17, definitely over the S&P 500. And I was surprised and amazed, and I learned not to touch even when it's going down and keep my hands off it, just not look at it for a couple of weeks and then come back and get the pleasant surprise. That was hard because I kept on going, oh no, it's going down, I need to sell. But no. And long term, it was a process.
Yes, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing, Queen. Thank you. Yes. It's all about the mindset. That's why I'm so big on the mindset, because at the end of the day, yes, meditations are nice. Yesterday's meditation was amazing. I have another activity for us today, and you're going to have some fun with that as well. But at the end of the day, though, we are here to build wealth. Yes or no, right? That's what we're really here for. And so when we are building wealth, when you're getting into different investments, right, such as the stock market, such as private equity, such as commercial property, right, such as investing in international investments, there's going to be times where your investments are going to take longer than expected. There's going to be times where your investments are not going to go the way that you thought they would. It doesn't mean they went bad. It's just that we humans, we like to think that, oh yeah, we just get into the stock and it's magically just going to go up right away because I magically bought it. But that's not reality, right? And so there's going to be things that happen throughout your wealth building journey. And so the mindset part allows you to tough it out, right? And I don't want to say tough it out like it's so bad, right? It allows you to push through the obstacles that come in. Because the rest of the world who doesn't do any type of mindset work or doesn't have the right mindset, right? The rest of the world, they come into one obstacle, one little setback, one little mistake, and they're like, oh my God, I failed. I'm so bad. I don't want to do this anymore. And then they quit. They fail. They never do it again. And then they say, oh, that's not for me. That's for them over there. I don't qualify. I'll never be able to do that. Type in a 9 if you're with me, right? And so think about all the things that you've accomplished, because you have accomplished a lot for you to be here on this challenge with me. All right. I speak about wealth building. I'm not talking about budgeting. Yes, even though today we're going to talk about budgeting. Coco, I don't even like that word, but I'm not talking to you about savings and budgeting. I'm talking to you about wealth, about having so much money that you can never outspend it. That's what I'm talking to you about. You're talking to someone. I'm actually next week, I'm actually going to be in Beverly Hills in a room full of centimillionaires, billionaires, and everybody in between who's talking about investments. And I'm going into these rooms to learn from them to bring back to you. So we're not talking about little play stuff. We're talking about wealth that's going to change your entire life and your entire bloodline's life. Yes, I took it there. Yes, it's going to change your entire family to where, Beyonce said, my great grandchildren are already rich. That's the type of wealth I'm talking to you about. Type in a 10 if you're with me. If that's not the type of wealth you're looking to build, if you're like, Kat, I just want to be comfortable, this is not the challenge for you. I'm sorry. You can go be comfortable, go budget, go save, go do all that, and you'll be nice and comfortable. You can make 6 figures, 120K a year, and live nice and comfortable. I don't know how much longer you'll be comfortable with 120K a year, because 120K a year is not what it was 5 years ago. So imagine 10 years from now. Okay. All right. But you can go and be comfortable. This is not the challenge for you. If all you need to do is be able to pay your bills right now, this is not the challenge for you. Right? I'm talking about people who are serious about building wealth. And guess what? If it was that easy, everyone would have that type of wealth. And so I'm here to tell you that this journey is not going to be hard, but you're going to run into obstacles. It is inevitable. Think about all the things that you have accomplished so far. Some of you are nurses, nurse practitioners. Some of you are attorneys, physicians. Some of you are C-level executives. It was not a sweet and bumpless road, right? Type in an 11 if you're with me. Right? You ran into some obstacles to be as successful as you are right now, right? But what did you do? You overcame those obstacles. You kept going, right? And so when you are building your wealth, when you're growing your wealth, guess what? It's going to be a similar journey. And that's why when Carmel said, we work on the mindset, and I was able to say, okay, the market is down, because the market was down all of 2022. Yeah, all of 2022, the market was down. The market was down 27%. In 2022. That's not a crash. It's not a crash, actually, right? Believe it or not, it's not a crash. It's just a downward trend. The market goes up and it goes down. It goes up and it goes down. And if you don't have the right mindset, if you don't have that laser focus to know, no, I'm not touching this. No, I'm not touching this. I'm going to buy more when it's lower because I'm confident in my investments, then you're not going to make it very far. And so thank you so much for sharing that, Carmel. Okay. Alrighty, let's keep going. All right, let's make this smaller. Let's put some stuff over here. Okay, boop, 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 boop. Okay, so day 2. So what we're going to learn today. So we're going to talk about creating your wealth plan, okay? And I talked about this yesterday. I talked about how there is no one size fits all in finance, okay? There's no one size fits all. Yes, There are general things like saving, right? You want to go from consumer to saving, right? That's general. No matter who you are, you want to have a savings, because investing, the very definition of investing is putting your money to work for you. Somebody write that in your chat, write this in your notes. The very definition of investing is putting your money to work. That is investing, putting your money to work. And you take on some sort of risk with that, right? That is the true definition of investing, but we'll get that tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about different types of investments, okay? All right, but the very definition is putting your money to work. If there's no money, there's no investing. A lot of people think that investing is creating money out of thin air. I'm so sorry. Whatever guru on the internet told you that, they were lying to you. Okay. And I hate to bust your bubble, but I actually love to bust your bubble, because once you actually see the reality, then you start taking action based on reality, and you start getting real results and not fantasy results. Okay. All right. And so if there's no money, there's no investing. Okay. So if there's no money, the first goal is to get money. Money to invest. How can I find money to invest? How can I find money? It's not, I don't have money. It's how can I find money? I want to invest in this real estate project, and they're asking for a minimum investment of $100,000, and they're giving me 20% return. 20% return. That's $20,000 that my 100K can make for me. It's not, oh, I don't have 100K to participate. It's how can I get my hands on 100K to participate? Type in a 7 in the chat if you're with me. It's not that I can't, it's how can I? How can I get my hands on 25K so I can invest in a medical clinic? How can I get my hands on 50K so I can invest in a building and buy a building with a group of people so that I can collect rent, so I can collect $500, $1,500 a month? How can I? Not I can't. How can I? Write this in your notes. How can I? How can I get my hands on 75K so that I can invest in this dental clinic? You guys picking up what I'm putting down? How can I get my hands on financing to be able to buy this corner store that's going to bring in $500,000 a year? How can I get my hands on 250K so that I can invest in this corner store? How can I get my hands on 100K so I can invest in this little restaurant thing? Whatever business that floats your boat. How can I get my hands on $10,000 so I can go live in Greece for 3 months with my entire family? How can I? Okay. Next, we're going to calculate your financial freedom number. Based on what we're going to do together, we're going to calculate your financial freedom number. And the top 3 mistakes that beginner investors make. Now, this is not a whole little section in itself. It's just me telling you. One of the biggest mistakes beginner investors make is they're worried about step 77 when they should be worried about step 1. The second mistake is a lot of investors say, I can't, instead of how can I? I already went over 2. We're going to go over more. Okay. All right. So before we get into that, I definitely want to remind everyone, okay, yesterday I talked to you about, one second, I'm trying to grab the link so I can drop it in the chat here. Yesterday, I talked to you about my private wealth circle. Now, obviously, towards the end, right, towards, hold on, this is my Calendly. Hold on, I need my, there we go. Okay, so towards day 4 and 5, I'm going to talk to you about my main program, right? And if it's a good fit, if you're like, yeah, Kat, let's go, this is it, this is what I need, then we'll talk about that. But in the meantime, I am slowly inviting more people into my wealth circle, okay? Into my private wealth circle. And I talked about it yesterday. I saw some of you applied. I'm so excited. I had an interview yesterday. Sorry, I'm trying to do too much, okay? I had an interview yesterday with someone, okay? So we actually ended up putting her in another program to get her ready for the circle, okay? Because I'm very, very protective about that circle. We are here, we're serious women. We are taking action. We're not looking for perfection, we're looking for progress, okay? And so go ahead and click on the link. You will choose a date and time that works for you, and you can apply to be part of the private wealth circle. I do not open this to the public unless you are part of my challenge, or unless I have a private conversation with you about it. You will never see any advertisement about it because it is a private circle, okay? And those of you, some of you, I've talked to you already about it. All right. The open enrollment does not stay open for long. After a while, I close it, then I open it. Okay. Because again, these are serious women who are taking action. We are buying things. We are doing things. We are saving up to make big investments, right? We are serious about it. So if you're not ready for that type of seriousness, if you're still kind of tiptoeing and kind of just dipping your toes in things, then this may not be for you. But if you're interested in joining us, or maybe you don't know, maybe you're like, Kat, I don't know, this sounds good, but am I qualified? Do I fit? Go ahead and click on the link and you can apply to work with me, okay? All right, cool. So I'd like for everyone, okay? I'd like for everyone to think about, I'd like for you to think about, no, before we get into that, let me make sure that I'm going all right. Okay, so today we're gonna have to have a shift, right? There's gonna have to be a shift that happens by the end of the day today, by the end of our 1 o'clock p.m. today, because I actually have to go. I have a client at 1 p.m. Okay, we need to have a strategic blueprint. All right, you do not create wealth by accident. And those who do create wealth by accident, guess what happens? They lose it the very next year. Okay. Did you know that most lottery winners go broke within 18 months? Type in a 3 if you knew that, type in a 0 if you didn't. Okay. Most lottery winners go broke within 18 months. Okay. So like I said, you do not create wealth by accident. You must create wealth through a strategic blueprint. And when we work on the mindset together, it removes all the barriers that stop you from implementing this blueprint. Okay. And so I want you to ask yourself, does this sound like you? I want you everybody to type in a 1 if this sounds like you, okay? You're dissecting your expenses. You're looking at every little meticulous expense, trying to squeeze out as much savings as possible. You're frugal. You don't spend money on anything. You just spend money on your bills. And you're like, Kat, I don't know where my money goes. All I do is pay bills, right? But it's still not getting you any closer to the wealth that you want to build. Type in a 1 if this is you, okay? Or you're tirelessly hopping from investment trend to another investment trend, right? Hopping from, ooh, this person's talking about stocks. I'm gonna do stocks. Ooh, this person's talking about options. I'm gonna do options. This person's talking about futures. I'm gonna do futures. This person's talking about real estate. I want to do real estate. This person's talking about, type in a 1 if that's you. I don't see any 1s. Maybe I'm not talking to anybody in the room, right? Maybe this doesn't apply. All right, maybe I got it wrong. Okay. All right. You're intending, you're reading books over and over, and you're trying to find information. Oh, we got 1 brave soul. All right, we got 2 brave souls. All right. Okay. You're reading books, trying to find information everywhere, right? Trying to piece it all together, but it's not happening. Okay. And so without a strategic blueprint, why does that say blueprint? Okay, blueprint. See, you could tell I was rushing this, okay? Without a strategic blueprint, you will not get the sustainable wealth that you're looking for, okay? I cannot emphasize enough. Yesterday, we talked about mindset. Today, we're talking about your blueprint. We need step by step of what you're gonna do. If not, you're gonna go all over the place, okay? All right? And this is what the rest of the world has told you. They told you that cutting out your small luxuries is the key to financial freedom, right? Like the Dave Ramseys and the Susie Ormans, and they'll tell you, oh yeah, you got to live on ramen noodles. You got to live extremely below your means. Extremely below your means doesn't mean I'm making a $5,000 a month and then I need to live off of $1,000 a month. Absolutely not. But living below your means that I'm making $20,000 a month, but my bills are only $8,000 a month. Type in a 1 if you're with me. Type in a 0 if I lost you. Okay? Living below your means does not mean squeeze every penny, eat ramen noodles every day, live on somebody's couch, right? Catch the bus all day. Because if you don't pay for it with your time, if you don't pay for it with your money, you're gonna pay for it with your time. I'm going to repeat that. If you don't pay for it with your money, you're going to pay for it with your time. And there are 2 things that you can always pay with: your time and your money. And only one of those is infinite. Only one of those is infinite. Time is not infinite for us here on this realm. In the grand scheme of things, time may be infinite, yes, but for humans, it is not. Money is infinite. So if I have to choose between paying with my time or paying with my money, I'm going to choose to pay with my money any day. Type in a 6 if you're with me. Type in a 0 if you're like, no, Kat, I want to pay with my time. because I have so much time in the world that I want to pay every little thing that I want. I want to give my time away for it. That's what you want to do. If that's what you want to do, go ahead and type in a 0. No, if I could pay, listen, all right? If I could pay, I have a flight that I'm taking, right? I'm taking a flight to go to Beverly Hills on Monday. And no, sorry, I was looking at the flight to go to Beverly Hills on Monday, right? And we have a welcoming reception at the conference at 4 p.m. in California, okay? And obviously Beverly Hills. And the flights that I were looking at, none of them were gonna allow me to land on time. And so guess what I did? I said, you know what? I'm gonna fly Sunday and I'm just gonna stay for the whole week. Trying to fit every little thing. No, I'm just gonna pay extra. I don't care. I'm gonna pay with it and just give myself my peace of mind. Trying to squeeze in everything. I gotta make it to the airport at this time. I gotta make it to the hotel. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for the stress. I don't have time for the headache. I'm going to pay extra for that, okay? That is what we use our money for. That is the whole point of building wealth, okay? You've been told that living frugally and cutting back all the luxuries, okay? Kind of like what I talked about earlier. Wealth building strategies are too complex, right? You've been told that you need to know more. That's another one, all right? I need to know more. I can't get started. I don't know. I need to know more. I need to watch another one of your lives. I need to watch another one of your free trainings. I need to come to one of your other classes before I even start. While you're busy, while you're putting all that time into going into the YouTube rabbit hole, watching video after video after video, you could have done step 1 a long time ago. Okay? All right? You've also been told that you need a substantial amount of money to start investing. That is false. You could technically start with $5. Well, now $5, is that going to make you a millionaire? Remember, we're all here to build wealth. We're not here for play money, right? And so, no, I'm not going to tell you to start with $5, but you could. Right? And so what is the point of even saying that? The point is, no matter how much money you have, you could start investing it as long as it makes sense for you. Because if you don't have any savings to take care of your emergencies, the last thing you want to do is tie up your money in investments. Because when you need that money, you will not have it available. Okay? All right? Let's keep going. Okay, beautiful. Now we can get into the exercise. So I'd like for everyone to take a moment, right? And think about the last time you did something exciting, something that lit you up, right? Something that like just, you were just on cloud 9 and you were so excited and you were just amazing, right? Just feeling amazing. Take a moment and think about that and write about it, okay? Write about it in your journal. Give you guys about 10 minutes, not 10 minutes, sorry, 60 seconds for that. Okay. I'm trying to share something, but I think I'm gonna have to just share my whole desktop. Okay. So I'd like for you to pay attention to this screenshot that's in front of me here, okay? I know I'm sharing my entire desktop because I couldn't find how to share this. And I'd like for you to write down the 5 things from this list: courage, achievement, creativity, adaptability, family, gratitude, and so on and so forth. I'd like for you to write down 5 things that you experienced during that time. During that time where you felt ecstatic, where you felt accomplished, where you felt happy. What were some of the things that you experienced, right? So write down 5 of them. I'm going to give you about 60 seconds to do so. Play some music.
Love is not enough, baby. Come to me, Molo. Love me or you hate me, know me. No mess with me, no logo. And I feel too pity. Oh my lolly titi. Giuseppe's are naughty. In a Maserati. Take it baby easy. Fine boy like you easy. You won't kiss somebody. But lose sweet melody. Mama Leo. Ojoojúmọ́ là ń ṣayé o. Luckily o. Olówó tí mo fẹ́ náà. Me, I just want to be high. Be high. Be high. Me, I just want.
Okay, all right. So I'd like for you to think to yourself, okay, out of those 5 things. So what were those 5 things? Those 5 things are your values. These are the things that you value. These are the things that you want to see more. These are the things that bring you expansion. Okay. And I'd like for you to ask yourself, when was the last time you spent money on those things? And if you did, right, how much did you spend on those things? Go ahead and take about a 60 seconds to write that down. When was the last time you spent money on these things?
Yeah. Yeah. Me, I just want to be high. Yeah. I just want to be high. Yeah. For this party, let's get started. And for money, and for money, vision, glory, words are story. Oh, sing a go, the sky is falling. I whip up and jump start. I could jump you like a hat.
Okay, so let's hear from some people, okay? Go ahead and write it in the chat. When was the last time you spent money on these things? Talk to me in the chat. What did you do? When was the last time you spent money on these values, okay? While you guys are typing in the chat here, what was the point of this exercise? When you are creating a budget, and this is where a lot of your budgeting coaches get it wrong, okay? And this is why budgets don't work for most people, all right? Is because, right, we're focusing on constriction, contraction, when the very idea of wealth building is expansion, yes or no? Talk to me in the chat. Isn't the entire idea of wealth building, right, based on the concept of expansion? And so we want to focus on how can I spend money on things that bring me expansion versus things that bring me contraction? Write this in your notes. How can I spend money on things that bring me expansion instead of spending on things that bring me contraction? Okay. And so that list of values that I gave you, right? Courage. How can I spend more money on courage? How can I spend more money on spending time with family? How can I spend more money on expanding my creativity? How can I spend more money on my freedom? How can I spend more money on community? Type in a 1 if you're with me. Type in a 0 if I lost you. That was the point of that exercise, right? Is to shift the way that you spend money. Because when you shift the way that you spend money, guess what? You are now pouring into the energy of expansion. Guess what you're going to get back? You're going to get back expansion, because money is energy. I'm going to repeat that. Money is energy. Money is a form of currency, and it is the lowest form of currency. The highest form of currency is relationships. The second is knowledge. The third is money. And so money is just energy. And so if we are constantly aligning ourselves to expansion, spending on things that make us feel good, spending on things that make us love life and love God and love all the things that the earth has, guess what we're going to attract? We're going to keep attracting opportunities. We're going to keep seeing things differently. Things that were once cloudy will now become clear. Type in a 1 if you're with me. All right. And so homework for you. All right. Because we're going to need this. We cannot calculate our financial freedom number if we don't have this done. So can you all commit to doing your homework tonight? Type in a 7. You don't even know what it is, but I want to see if you can commit. Type in a 7 if you're going to do your homework tonight. Okay? All right, so homework is, I'd like for you to print out your January bank statements. I'd like for you to, okay, you know what? Let me not say print out because everybody's going to come up with an excuse about printer's not working. I don't have ink. I don't have a printer. I could blah, 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 blah. Pull out your January bank statement, however you need to. If you have a printer, print it out. If you don't, put it on your screen. And I'd like for you to go through that statement and write down line by line, right? Every time, and highlight or write it, whatever you got to do. Acknowledge every time that you spent money on those 5 things that you have on your list. I'm going to repeat that, okay? You're going to look at your January statements and you're going to look at everywhere where you were spending money, okay? And you're going to see, when did I spend money on these 5 things that I listed? If the answer is most of your transactions, then you're already halfway there. You're already halfway there. There's very little that you need to do to go to that next level, right? But if you see an area of opportunity, well, this is where you start. Some of you ask me, I don't know what step 1 is. Well, I'll give you a step 1. That's your step 1. How can I spend more money on the things that bring me expansion? Kat, you're talking to me about building wealth and you're telling me that I need to go from consumer to saver to investor when you're telling me to go spend on things? Yes, I am, because you're going to spend on them anyway. You're going to spend on things anyway. You're going to swipe anyway. Why not be in control of what you swipe instead of the swiping controlling you? I'm going to repeat that. Why not be in control of what you swipe instead of the swiping controlling you? Because a lot of you in here, your swiping is doing all the controlling. Type in a 7 if you're with me. Your swiping is doing all the controlling. Bills, swipe. Obligations, swipe. Kids need this, swipe. Mom needs this, swipe. Sister needs this. Person in Haiti needs this, swipe, swipe, swipe. And then you never get a second to stop and think, how can I swipe for me? What can I do to swipe for me? And so when you ask the universe to bring you abundance, to bring you wealth, right? The universe is like, you're not even taking care of yourself. That's not important to you. I'm preaching again. Moving on, okay? All right. And so the second part of your homework, okay? All right, I know, I gave you all the first part, okay? The second part of your homework is I'd like for you to go shopping, to go window shopping, right? What are some bills, you're gonna write down, what are some bills that I want to have? Talk to me in the chat. What are some bills that you would want to have? I'll give you an example. I love having a cleaning lady. Or a cleaning person, sorry. I didn't want to be politically incorrect with that. Sorry. I don't trust a man in my house, so I have a cleaning lady, okay? All right? But it doesn't have to be a lady, okay? All right? And so I'm single, all right? And so I know my limits, all right? So yes, I love having a cleaning company. I love having sometimes my meal preps. Yes, I know how to cook. I love to cook, but I'm here with you. And then I have clients afterwards. And then I have other things to do. I cannot cook every day. So I love having a meal plan, right? I love having a travel budget to know that, okay, I'm going to this conference. I'm going to Africa in April and in May. I love having those types of budgets. Ooh, I get to shop around. I get to go look for an Airbnb for a month. I love those types of bills. So you're going to write down what are some bills you would want to have, okay? Somebody says, Amber says, I need a nanny and a housekeeper. That's what I'm talking about, right? Brittany Phillip says, office and building rent. That's right, Queen. Yes, I'm with you on that. I'm kind of tired of doing everything in my home. I kind of like having a different office space. So that's going to be my next one. I've just been too lazy to like actually go get it. But you're right. Yes, I agree with that, right? I want my personal trainer again. Woo, there we go, right? I want a chef, right? I want a housekeeper. That's what I'm talking about, right? We are building a financial plan for you. Not for Dominique, not for Lisa, not for Brittany, for you. I know I just named all of you guys, right? Not the person next to you, not the person in front of you, not the person behind you, not for the person to your left, for you. And so we want to get clear on what you want. We want to get clear on your values. Type in a 9 if you're with me, okay? And so once we have all of that, how much is a housekeeper going to cost? How much is a chauffeur? That's going to be my next one. That's going to be my next one. When I went to Morocco, I hired a chauffeur for the day. It only cost me $50, 50 US dollars for the day. But it was so nice to have someone literally drive me around all day long and, wait for me when I went shopping. It was so nice. I was just like, oh, I want this like every day. I love it. And that's my next level. I want a chauffeur. Okay. I don't want to be driving nowhere. I want somebody to drive me around. Okay. I want that. And I don't care if you don't find it valuable or whoever doesn't find it valuable. That's me, right? That's me. That's what I want. Those are my values. And so I'm not going to fit you in a box and say, Amber, how dare you? I'm not going to say, Jamila, how dare you? What do you mean? You can't clean your own house? You can't cook your own food? Absolutely not. I'm not going to do that because this is your plan for you and you're going to be the one who implements it. So if you're not excited to implement it, then then me as a coach, it's going to make my job a lot harder. I want you to be excited to do your stuff. Like Carmel, I want you to be excited. That makes my job easier because you show up to class, you show up to our meetings, you do your work, you get results, everybody wins. All right. And so that concludes our session for today. Okay. So that is step 1 to calculating your financial freedom number. I know everybody's probably like, well, I didn't calculate my financial freedom number. You got to do your homework. Okay. All right. And so go ahead and do your homework. It's fun. It's easy, right? Just glance at your numbers. You don't even, guys, you could half-ass this. Okay. And excuse my French. Okay. You could literally half-ass it. Just scroll through your bank account. Okay. And see, wow, what am I spending money on? And then go have fun. Go window shopping. How much is that car that you want? That Range Rover that you want? How much is that car payment going to be? Right? That zip code that you want to live in, that house you want to buy. How much is your mortgage going to be? Okay. Or maybe you don't know how much your mortgage is going to be, but how much is the house going to cost? All right. And so go window shopping. Type in a 7 if you're committing to doing this. All right. Go window shopping. Type in a 7 if you're committed to doing this. And so you're going to do this tomorrow. We're going to calculate our wealth number together because that was step 1. Step 2 is to calculate it. Okay, your financial freedom number. And we're going to talk about how do we get there. Okay. And then we'll continue for day 4 and day 5. All right. So that's pretty much it, everyone. Any questions, comments, or observations? Again, here is my link to apply to work with me. Again, it doesn't have to be the Private Wealth Circle. What is the point of this? Let me actually click on it so that we can look at it together. Again, you're just going to, you're going to click on the link here. All right. I don't have any. Oh, look at that. I'm already booked. I'm booked for the month. So you got to wait. You got to go till next month. Okay. So let's say you decide Friday the 1st, and you decide 1:30 p.m. All right. You're going to answer all of these questions. Okay. And the reason for these questions is for me to see how can I best help you? How can I help you? Right? Am I even the right person to help you? Is this even a good fit? Okay. And so based on those questions, we're going to have a conversation. You're going to tell me what's going on, and I'm going to ask you what type of guidance do you need. And if the Private Wealth Circle is what you need, then we're going to put you in there. But if it's not, if you're not ready for that, like my interview yesterday, she wasn't ready for that. She needed a little bit of mindset work. So we put her in my 30-day mindset reset program. And now she's going to be doing that. Okay. And so, and don't feel like I'm going to put you in a box. There is no one size fits all. I know a lot of coaches and a lot of gurus, when they do these 5-day challenges, these types of challenges, they always pitch this one box, this one program, and everybody better fit in there. I'm not that type of coach. I'm here to help you get results because I don't have to do this. I don't have to do this. I can literally be on the market right now printing money, but I choose to do this because I love seeing your transformations. That is a lot more fulfilling than buying low, selling high on the stock market every day. That's mundane. It's boring. It doesn't feed my soul. Right? And so I'm not your typical coach. I'm not going to fit you into one program and you better fit or else. No, we're going to talk. We're going to see, is this even a right fit? And then we're going to find a program that works best for you. Okay? Or it maybe none of my programs work for you. Maybe you need somebody else's help. I've got a network. Okay. Your network is your net worth. And you guys know I've got a network. Okay. And so I will put you in front of the right person. All right, everyone. Have a great day. See you soon. Bye. Let me play some music for you. I'll see you tomorrow. We're going to finish calculating our wealth number. See you tomorrow. Bye, everyone. Where's the music? My little speaker action here. I'm trying to make this. Bye, everyone.
Lucky you. Me, I just want to be high.
Bye.
Me, I just want to be
Bye.
high.
All right.